This episode of the Neurodivergent Experience is brought to you by RTN Mental Health Solutions. With up to a 5-year waiting list for autism and ADHD assessments via the NHS, and that's even if you get a referral from your GP, getting an assessment in the UK has never been harder. So if you're like me and can't wait anymore, going private may be the best option for you. RTN offers online assessments for kids aged 6 right up to adults, with prices starting at £900. To make it more accessible, RTN can offer payment plans up to 5 months. You can access their remote services from the comfort of your home anywhere in the UK, and RTN offers group and one-to-one counselling, a private route to access ADHD medication following the assessment, and will even fight for you if your GP doesn't accept the results. So if you live in the UK and can't wait to get an assessment, go to www.rtnmentalhealthsolutions.com and use the discount code RTN23, making it even more affordable for all of our listeners to get an autism and ADHD assessment.
Hello and welcome to the Neurodivergent Experience. I'm your host, Jordan James, a neurodivergent specialist and autistic photographer, and I'm joined by my co-host and very best friend, Simon Scott.
Hello, welcome to episode 48. This week we are talking about the ups and downs of 2024.
2024! How are you? I know, I'm getting there first.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm got a glass back again. Woo! And so just currently sat on a ton of DP, so that's all good. But do you know what, mate? If I'm honest, I am very good. And just getting through life and trying not to let it get to me. So that's just all fun and games. I'm dealing with the house, mate. I've got everything done my end, and I'm now waiting on sellers, solicitors, and it's like, I hate having that lack of control of giving things up. So I'm currently just like in this limbo state. And then I did too much yesterday, and now my back hurts because I'm old, because I turned 30 this year. And that's about it. How are you?
Yeah, I'm normally I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm really great, and I kind of feel really great, but my back is also super bad. I think I've pinched a nerve right at the base of my spine, which is a very nasty place to do it.
Yeah,
but I'm still moving around and putting heat on it, so yeah, it's all right. It's funny actually, because when you are in pain, it kind of takes over everything. So you're like, oh, I'm super happy and super chill, and I'm not angry at all. And then, I feel like I'm having a meltdown.
It's like being in pain or like having back pain is like having a tag on your shirt, and it's just like,
you can't get it. I've gone straight to the chocolate. I've gone straight to. In the last 24 hours, I've just eaten just so much chocolate.
Yeah, why not?
But yeah, exactly. Why not? Christmas.
Yeah, it is Christmas. Now is the time to eat your body weight in chocolate.
Well, we're reflecting. That's what we're doing. We're reflecting on the year, because this is the first year of our podcast, and this was the first season, and we've come to the decision that we are going to have a break in January.
Hiatus, they call it in the industry.
A hiatus. You because of moving house and dealing with all that, and me because I'm going away in January, a lot of January, because of my wedding anniversary. 24 years married it will be, so that's really cool.
Pretty cool. Nearly 25.
Yeah, pretty cool. So we decided to take a hiatus. And we're going to come back with season 2. When are we coming back?
So essentially, the plan is during January we are going to do reruns of our favourite episodes. So we'll still bring out an episode every Thursday, but it may be one that you've already heard, or if this is the first time you're ever listening to this, hello, give us a like, give us a subscribe, hang around, join us. Yeah. So we're going to be doing that. So expect to hear some of our favourite episodes throughout January. Hopefully they're yours too. And then February the 6th, put it in your diaries, folks. That is when you will get new episodes of the Neurodivergent Experience, which is a quote-unquote season 2, even though it's not really a season 2, it is a season 2. And I can't wait for that, dude. We've got some nice ideas coming. We're going to start doing a mailbag and just keep an eye out for more things coming your way from us. Be exciting. Enjoy.
So, yeah. So, let's get on with the best things about this year and then the worst things this year. Because I have to say, overall, I would say this is definitely one of the best years of my life ever. Like fully, especially the way where it's ending, and I look back over the year and it's crazy how much I've done. I've done. And I would say that this is definitely one of the best years I've ever had, just in general. Absolutely brilliant. What about you, dude?
This has been one of the most formative years that I've had. It's a year that I've truly had the masking process really kick up a gear, really feel in tune with myself. I've really worked on my mental health this year. I've gone back to counseling. I started a podcast with my best friend, so that's been amazing as well. Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
what about our podcast?
Very funny. And that has been, having my own podcast and doing it for me rather than doing it for other people has been something I've wanted to do for years and years and years. Never thought I'd do it. Ticked that off this year. Went to the Masters. Ticked that off this year. I've done things this year that are so many bucket list things. Cool. I feel very, very lucky. And I'm now ending the year potentially by being a homeowner, which has been a culmination of, because dude, I was so crap with money 2 years ago and really worked on it. And this year I've gotten better with it. And now I've managed to save enough money for a house deposit and afford a home.
Dude, the fact that you're 30 and you're like, I used to be bad with money. I was bad with money until
I know. I don't know how I did it. I kind of trained my brain to be like. It was weird because a couple of years ago, I was so anxious about money and the job that I've got. It's in counseling this year, I've learned my biggest toxic trait is how hard I am on myself, impossibly hard on myself. And one of the things that I've tried to do is get better at the things that give me a lot of anxiety, and my money was one of them. And this year I feel like I've really got a handle on that and reaping the rewards now. It's amazing what happens when you put hard work in and you commit to something. It sometimes works out. So that's kind of what's happened for me this year. I feel like I've been able to reap the rewards of the work that I've put in previous years. This year's almost feels like season 2 of my life, even though it's been season 1 of the podcast.
I definitely would say, from the outside looking in, seeing you change, seeing you grow from day 1 of the podcast, and even just us, being friends beforehand, you have just come on leaps and bounds. But the thing is that although it pleases me, it does not surprise me in the slightest. I knew, and I told you at the time, your potential. I knew exactly what you were capable of. It was you who were doubting yourself. And that's why I'm so glad that we did this together, because we have grown together. I've learned from you, which I don't think you expected to happen.
Honestly.
Because you came here to learn from me, and it hasn't all been that way. You have progressed from Padawan.
I can cut that little thing off. Technically, I have cut the back of my hair, so
yeah,
I've got rid of the little Padawan strip. But that's really true. I didn't think. There's been some times that I've listened back to the edits of the episodes, and I've been I can't believe I said that. I have really surprised myself this year. I would say that is up number 1 for me. I have surprised myself this year, because a lot of the internal monologue that I had before I did this podcast was, you aren't good enough. I'm sure a lot of people that are listening to this can relate to that, feeling like you've had untapped potential or opportunities have missed you by. And because I used to think about some of the places that I used to work, people dream about working there. And I was in the wrong place in my life at that time. It was like right place, wrong time. And I really beat myself up about that, you know, being highly masking person. I mean, the amount of people, dude, that have said to me this year, you are the most masked person I've ever met. You're like the ultimate chameleon. I've had that multiple times this year. So getting to the end of 2024 and feeling like I've managed to peel the mask back a little bit, and I actually feel like I'm having honest conversations with myself. That may seem strange, but if you're an autistic person listening to this, having honest conversations with yourself is really difficult, especially when you have a lot of worry and anxiety and you don't like to admit that there's something wrong. It can be a really hard place to live. And this year, I can honestly say that I am the happiest I've ever been. Big up, surprised myself this year.
Yeah, I think the thing that I love the most is seeing your confidence grow. So I feel like you and we became friends because you were being your unmasked self. Like I might have been the only person that you were allowed to see the real you because you knew that you could trust me with the real you. And the only thing I've really seen change, because obviously people that have known you for longer might have seen different things change. The only thing I can really see change is literally the confidence in yourself. That's it. Just that positivity and self love that I think that you were thoroughly in need of.
Yeah, very true.
So yeah, I am proud.
Oh, thanks, man. It means a lot. Genuinely. It really means a lot because.
Well,
there we are. But, yeah, it's so true, and like I feel like I've really managed to put all of these little things that were a part of me, and I've managed to put it all together, and I feel like everything's coming up Millhouse, mate. That's kind of how I feel right now. So, what about you? What's been your Uno up this year?
I think the biggest up isn't actually my up, which is weird. It's my kids' up. Okay, so you know, my son's fiance left him, and he was devastated. And my daughter had a long-term boyfriend who was not good for her. You know, she finally was able to sort of break herself away from him. And, you know, that was a really difficult time because, you know, breakups.
Yeah, it sucks. Even when it's not a good thing, it still sucks.
But I was really glad that they were gone because I never felt like they were right for my kids. But I would never say stuff like that unless I really had to. But they have gone on themselves with just us as parents in the background, because Sophie's, you know, 21 now and Simon's 23, and us in the background as parents just watching on and just wishing them the best and just encouraging them and being there for advice when they need it. And now that I believe they have found their forever partners. I would be very, very surprised if the two people that they were now with weren't going to be my son-in-law and daughter-in-law.
That's awesome,
at some point.
Dude.
I really, really think. And my son's girlfriend is absolutely lovely, just so nice. And Chris, Sophie's new boyfriend, is just, everybody loves Chris. Nice. He's just that guy. Everybody loves, and they are so perfect for my kids. It's strange how perfect they are. And of course, no shock, they are both neurodivergent. It just works better, man. It just works
clicks,
better,
doesn't it?
So that for me is my ultimate up, is seeing my kids happy. And Simon's got this great new job, and Sophie is doing really well at uni. She's had some really tough times this year, but she's ended it really strong. And if you follow Sophie, it's Sophie James on Facebook. If you follow Sophie, her story is amazing. And she writes absolutely beautifully, far better than I can even write. And it's just wonderful seeing her grow. So that for me is my ultimate up.
And what a good one to have. I'm really pleased about that, because obviously, like at the beginning of the year, it just all seemed a bit chaos for them, didn't it? I did feel for them. Because like you said, breakups, especially when you're ND, suck. It's like really, really hard to like adjust into the rhythm
mad,
and
dude.
like somebody not being in your life anymore. And it is complex, especially with like, just patterns and yeah, it's hard.
What's super difficult is that, I kind of grew up as old school, as in like, you mess with my kids, I'm going to F you up.
Yeah.
And it's like these two people genuinely hurt my kids, but like not physically, they like hurt my kids. But I can't get involved because my kids don't want me involved like that. And, so it's really helped me go, they've got to live their lives now, and I'm there when I'm needed, which is really difficult because of that daddy instinct
and your sense of justice as well.
Oh God, that sense of justice, that autistic sense of justice. But I felt like I've definitely grown as a parent as well, So, what's your ultimate down?
My ultimate down, dude, is realizing how much of a battle it is being ND, because I have learnt this year it is easier to live without help than ask for it. Trying to get the medication, trying to...
I knew you'd bring that up.
That has, for me, has been the biggest down this year. It has been like...
so bad.
I've got another down as well. I don't want to kind of like be a Debbie Downer, but realizing how little the medical professionals understand about ADHD or autism has been shocking. And I'm not saying this for every medical professional, but there have been multiple times when I've had ADHD medication reviews, and some of the questions I've been asked, some of the things that I've had said to me, I've been like, you're so wrong. You're so wrong. And choosing whether to go to war over it or not, and also having that sort of in the back of my mind, well, if I upset this person, I ain't gonna get what I need. Like the amount of near meltdowns I've had in pharmacies this year, where I've just been like, this is just as important as diabetes medication. Essentially what you're telling me is I haven't got my wheelchair this week, you're giving it to somebody else. In the amount of times, dude, I've gone into pharmacies and they've gone, well, we did have your medication, but somebody else came in and they had a bigger number, so we've had to give certain amounts away and now we've run out. And I've learned that is illegal. That is wrong. So, that's been fun. So that's been my biggest down this year, is navigating the medication shortage, because I think it is nigh on cruel being given it and having a stimulant and realizing, oh my God, I'm like Iron Man. I can just do so much stuff now all at once, to suddenly not being able to get it for months and months and months has actually made me realize that, I am disabled. There are moments where I am disabled and I do need help. And it is so difficult when the person that you have to ask for help, you also have to explain why you need help. Does that make sense? There's nothing more. There's nothing more frustrating. And yes, so next year, well, hopefully by the time this episode comes out, I will now be on instant release methylphenidate. So we'll see how that goes, because the lovely lady at the Owl Centre helped me out. But it's frustrating that it took 6 months to get there. So next year, fingers crossed, that will be an up and not be a down.
Well, it will be no surprise for you. I mean, can you even guess what my ultimate down is? Just have a little guess.
I don't know. I can think of a few things, really. But you've done that thing where you've asked an autistic person a question and my brain's gone blank.
It's my back.
I was going to say, it's probably your pain.
Yeah, just the pain. And it's not like I didn't have the pain the year before. So I would say that, but because I've had such a good year. See, if you asked me last year, I'd have way more downs, and my back would be one of them. But the fact that my back is one of my only downs this year, for me, myself personally, I think is actually speak volumes for how good of a year I had. But yeah, it's just the pain, living with pain, and it used to be that it would be I would have really bad days, but most of the time I'd be fine, and then I'd have really bad days. Now those bad days are replaced with good days, and the normal days are just bad days. So I will go pain-free for a couple of days, and then it will go again. And it's just been about trying to figure out what I do to cause that. And the answer is, I have no idea.
Oh, no.
I still don't know. So it's like I was pain-free, and then I went to the gym. I did a very light workout, a workout that normally actually helps release my back. And the next day it seized up. And I'm like, that was meant to help. And then I went back to the gym. I did the same sort of workout. I did even less, and it was fine. And then my back was fine again. So yesterday I just walked on the walking pad. That's all I did yesterday. I walked on a walking pad for 2 1-hour stints with 3 to 4 hours apart. So and I didn't walk fast. I walked at about 5 kilometers an hour.
It's not
so
really that far at all,
do
is
much. It's not. That's all I did yesterday, and somehow I pinched a nerve, and I was in pain all night. So I don't know anymore. I just think it's a lottery with my back. And if it's not my back, it's my neck. If it's not my neck, it's my shoulder. My knees went the other day. My hips hurt, and yeah, just being in pain. But I suppose I can take a positive out of that. Of at least I'm still able to be active. Yes, I am in pain, but I'm not injured.
Oh yeah,
if you know
totally.
What I mean. Like I don't have an injury that stops me from doing things. I just have pain which I have to deal with. But it's far worse for so many people who have like real physical disabilities. For me, it's more like a mental disability because it doesn't stop me doing the things I want to do. It just hurts.
I tell you what, one of the things that I've learned doing this podcast this year and really being involved in the autistic community and speaking to people like you who are listening and, people we met at the live event, people like autistic people's tolerance for pain is incredible. Like how certain people have real physical disabilities and they just try and get on with it. I find it absolutely incredible how some people's tolerance for pain, because
we can be
but it's almost like an admirable quality. It's like somebody's ability to just push through and just go, no, I'm not going to let this beat me. And I've met a lot of people like that this year. And do you know what? I tip my hat to all of you. When my back went in August, it scared the crap out of me. I was like, oh my God, I did nothing. I literally was sat in this chair I'm sat in now, and I adjusted the height and it jerked and my back went, and it was terrible for like 3 weeks, and it stopped me doing so many things that I enjoy doing. It broke my rhythm with exercising, and I've still not really got back into exercising how I was before my back went. And yes, I'm there struggling and you're there with your back pain. You just crack on. And it has amazed me at the strength of people this year, especially when I see how much they struggle with pain. But we'll go back to ups. What's been a big up for you this year?
Traveling. The traveling, especially Canada, that was a dream. Going to Canada and doing the photography I did. And oddly enough, I have one down from, there was a few things that annoyed me in Canada. Most of it was how fast people were driving. That annoyed me. But the ultimate down for Canada was because we went in the summer and it was really, really long days. It was really difficult to drag my ass out of bed for a sunrise. And it was really difficult to stay up really late for a sunset because everywhere we wanted to go was like an hour or so drive, because Canada, the Rocky Mountains are huge. So I didn't actually mind the driving. It was just like, there was one time where I actually got up early enough to go to Emerald Lake, which was one of our favorite places, for a sunrise. And the road there was closed for roadworks, and it wasn't opening until like 9 o'clock, which was after sunrise. And I was like, are you joking? And then we started driving around trying to find somewhere because I didn't really have a plan, we just ended up like in the middle of nowhere. But I'm looking at it right now. I literally took a beautiful picture of a mountain with like these pink clouds and the moon, not the sun, but the moon above these pink clouds, because the sun was making the clouds pink, but the moon was still in the sky. And it's this road, and it's got the yellow lines of the road leading up into these trees with this mountain, with a snow peaked mountain. And it was gorgeous. So something beautiful did actually come out of something tragic, of not being able to do what I wanted to do. And I think the traveling itself as well has really made me very patient. Like it really helps me with my patience. So I think going to the US, meeting Brett out there, doing like a separate bit of a documentary, which might be out next year. We've got all the footage. We'll have to see. But yeah, just traveling, just going to places I've never been before. And we also went to Gran Canaria for our wedding anniversary at the beginning. I can't believe it. It feels like so long ago, because like it was such a jam-packed year. I have done so much this year. And it was quite funny actually, because I was like, oh, I haven't really done a lot of photography this year. I'm like, no, you have.
You took loads of photos this year.
I just didn't do it every day. I didn't do loads of photography, but I got amazing pictures from going traveling. And yeah, so that's my biggest up for myself, is just being able to travel with Sylvia and just go around doing what I do best, which is taking, let's be honest, phenomenal pictures. I'm not even going to pretend that they are phenomenal, and it was a phenomenal place.
Yeah, it looked incredible. So, I mean, some of the photos that you've got, I've got a couple of playlists on my Spotify that I've set some of your photos to, so that when I listen to it, it like sets the scene almost. I like doing that.
Nice, man.
So I've gotten a lot of joy out of your photos this year, but one of the best things I've ever done, I did this year when I went traveling to America and did the Masters with my dad. That was incredible, and it's not even like, if you're a golfer and you're listening to this, you get it. But yeah, it's a really special thing to do. I mean, it's a bit of a funny story. The day I came back, I literally got off the plane. My dad drove me to Doncaster, and then I drove from Doncaster to Manchester and went and met Caris where she works, and I had my Masters jacket on. And the guy at the bar was like, has somebody bought that back for you? I says, no, I've literally got off the plane, and he told me to go F myself. I was just like, yeah, it's that sort of, it's a special thing to do. It was just like, yeah, that's just a funny thing about it. But doing that trip, and it's weird. I don't know whether it's like a part of being ND or if it's just me, but I really do feel these moments where like I feel a turn of a page, like a physical. I don't know whether it's part of the mask. I'm not really sure, but I feel like there are times where like bits of me click together. It's like I feel more whole than I did the day before. And maybe that is the feeling of unmasking, I'm not sure. But when I went on that trip, I really started listening to country music and American like songwriter music, which I never really done before. And I'll be honest, I was a bit of a hater. And now I really like that type of music. And I have an appreciation for college American football more after being in Columbia, South Carolina. And I feel like when I travel, I grow a lot. And this year, doing that trip really helped me grow. It was amazing to do it with my dad as well. I mean, we walked on to Augusta and it didn't feel real, mate. It's what I can imagine it felt like, where it was just like you almost wanted to get down and touch the ground. It's like the only time I'm not a religious person at all, but it's the first time I've ever been anywhere and it felt like holy. Like, even when I've been in churches and it doesn't do it for me. Each to their own, but I kind of went there and it was like, like, can't believe we're here. And me and my dad were sat having this little burger and an iced tea, and a golf ball came over the hill, and then Tiger Woods started walking towards us. You can't write that stuff. And I think about that trip every single day without fail. Really special
cool
thing to do.
Yeah, I was so happy for you, dude, because I know how much that meant to you. Like, that was so cool. And it was so cool that you did it with your dad as well. Like, you guys have such a cool relationship. Like, that's I do hope that that's the relationship I end up having with my kids. But only time will tell. You know, they might just get so sick of me they'll be like, no, I don't. They'll be gone and I'll never see them again. I hope that's not the case. I'm trying so hard.
What basketball team does your son follow?
Spurs.
Does he?
Yeah, because of Victor Wembanyama, which is fine because, like, like, basically, so we watch games because I support Celtics, but so it's like I'm a Celtics fan, but then I'm a fan of the Bucks, the Suns, the Wolves, the Bulls, the Lakers, just a whole load of teams. But because there's 30 and I follow about 6, 7 at a push, I think. So, you know, they play a lot of games. So there's a lot of times that a team that I watch will be playing the Spurs, and those are the games we watch to get together. But talking about basketball, that is one of the big ups. One, that Celtics won the championship for the first time. Yeah, that's
great thing to experience.
For quite a long time. It was Jason Tatum's first ever title, which it was so cool to get back into basketball, follow a team all throughout the season and have that team. Because I was like, I picked a team, you know, and I was like, okay, I'm Celtics, and they end up winning, and it was so cool. But I think even cooler was the fact that the new season just starting, we were watching a lot of documentaries and stuff, and I was desperately trying to get Sylvia into basketball. Didn't really think I'd have much hope, but she did. She just started getting into it. And then she turned around and went, I think I support the Celtics. Let's just watch the Celtics. And I was like,
amazing. That's so great.
So now we watch all the Celtics games together, and it's just elevated my love of basketball. And even more so, Sylvia now comes and plays basketball with me. She's getting into playing it as well, and it's just so cool to have, like, the ultimate special interest, but then have your best friend in the whole world have that exact same special interest.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And Simon's into it. Sophie loves playing basketball. Chris, Sophie's boyfriend, is the most hilarious basketball player I've ever seen in my life. He will relentlessly not leave you alone, like some sort of ADHD Energizer bunny. When he gets the ball, he cannot shoot. And he just chucks it as hard as he can, and he swear he's going to break the backboard.
That's so funny.
He is crazy. He makes me laugh so much. But yeah, that's it's kind of now it's a family thing, because my nephew Jake, he comes over a lot, and you know, he's 33, and he comes over and he plays, and yeah, it's awesome. Like this year, for Christmas, it's just I've literally just buying basketball stuff for everyone because everyone's into basketball.
Yeah, that's so cool, dude. I'm really. Do you know that?
So cool.
That's awesome. I have that with golf, with my dad and stuff, but I don't really have like other shared interests per se with people like that are close to me. It's like I'm really into wrestling. I have friends that are into wrestling. I really like football. I have 2 friends that are really into football. I mean, like this year, I'm a Liverpool fan, and Liverpool look like they're potentially going to win the league as I move to the outskirts of Merseyside. So
Chelsea are only 7 points away. Chelsea coming back. I've actually decided to start watching football again. Yeah, glorious.
Oh, they've got good again, and suddenly you're tuning in, are you?
Yeah.
That is that is a very Chelsea thing.
I couldn't think of a more Chelsea thing to do than suddenly be.
Fair.
No, to be honest, my son, it just so happens
because he loves football, doesn't he?
He loves football first. We all disagree with him because basketball for ADHD people is, by the way, way more entertaining than football. I think
because it's so end to end.
It's just so energetic.
My dad, do you know what, dude? When me and my dad went to watch the US Open 5 years ago. The night that we were in the hotel was the game where Kawhi scored against the Warriors in San Francisco when they won the title. And we were in San Francisco when the Warriors lost. And we watched that game and my dad was like, do you know what? If they showed this in the UK, when I'd watch it, he said, it's so end to end. It's so entertaining.
It's addictive.
And obviously, like he was watching Curry dropping threes, and it was just before Clay did his Achilles, and he was like, "This is amazing! Like this is so good to watch."
He was watching Curry, so yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But no, it's just funny how that was on, and he really liked it, and we've now learned that my dad's autistic ADHD.
Yeah,
so that's fun. But do you know what, man? One of it's annoying, really. I kind of have to thank Taylor Swift because my girlfriend will watch American football with me now because her boyfriend plays for the Kansas City Chiefs and they are always in the Super Bowl and 2 out of the last 4 they've beaten my team. So you've been lucky enough to get into sports and your team's won the title. I've watched my team get in the Super Bowl twice and not win, and it sucks.
I think my team's going to win the title again. I think we're going for the repeat.
So big ups. We've both really enjoyed sport and traveling this year. But do you know what I was thinking, if you ever get the chance, dude, I've done WrestleMania with my mum, and the only reason my mum came with me is because nobody else would. And we went to New York and we watched it, and she went, I get it. She went, I totally get it. It's like watching 2 guys fighting on the street, and there's a little dude and a big dude, and you're like, I want to see if the little dude wins. That is wrestling. I will pay £5 to watch that. And she really loved it and loved the theatre aspect of it. And then I've done 2 golf trips with my dad. If you ever get the chance, dude, take your son to the States and watch basketball with him, if you can. Or if Chelsea ever do like a pre-season tour and they go to the US and do a game, go, dude. It's such a great experience doing it with family.
I'm going with Sylvia. We're going to Massachusetts in October next year. That's our other holiday. That's what we're saving for. And we're going to do it at the beginning of the season, so the end of October. So we'll watch the Celtics at the beginning of next season. The next season, and we're also going to experience Halloween. And there is a town that's 2 hours from Boston and 2 hours from where Stephen King based it on. So essentially, it's Derry. It's not called Derry, but it
might as well be Derry.
But his house is there as well. And I couldn't think of a better place to go watch basketball in Boston and also experience Halloween where Stephen King lived.
Dude, not just that,
that's so good.
I don't know if you've ever seen Boston in the autumn.
That's the other thing, the photography
unbelievable. The colours, dude.
The photography aspect. Do you know what?
I really hope you get to do that.
I literally I can't wait. Yeah, me too. I have some trepidation of going to the States.
It's a little crazy over there at the moment,
scary.
isn't it? The worm that's in RFK Jr.'s brain is going to do some crazy stuff.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm not booking anything. So I'm just going to see what I'm going to judge it. I'm going to judge what the States is like. But I hope everything's fine, obviously, and not for me, just in general. I hope everything's fine. And then we can go, and I can basically the ultimate trip: photography, Halloween, and basketball. I mean,
you can watch basketball, eat candy, take photos, go to Derry. Like, you'll never come back. This will be it. That'll be the last time I ever see or hear from you again.
Just go live there. I'll just buy Stephen King's house. That's if someone says,
why not?
If you won like an unlimited amount of money, I'd give most of it away for a start. But I want to buy Stephen King's house.
Yeah.
4 hours from Boston, then I'll just buy Boston season tickets, and I'll be like, "This is the best life." Plus, you're not actually that far from Canada either.
Not really. No, I was about to say it's not a terrible far away. I mean, I would love to go to Boston. I've got a friend, Kyle, who lives out there, and he's invited me to go out there. But one of the reasons as to why he's invited me out there is to go and watch a baseball game at Fenway Park. And
that'd be so cool.
I don't know. It's like, as I've gotten older, I've now, out of all of like the sporting events I've ever wanted to go to, I've not been to them, but I've worked on a World Cup final. I've done the Champions League final when I worked at like TalkSport. I've done the Euros. And I feel like even though I wasn't there, I was kind of a part of it. And I've now done the Masters. I've done WrestleMania. I watched this documentary on Netflix the other day. It's called The Comeback, about the 2004 Red Sox. If you will love it, dude. It's a top documentary. Really, really interesting.
I'll look at that. More
just
Boston
story
stuff.
and team. More Boston stuff. But it basically follows the fact that they'd not won a league. They'd not won the World Series in 86 years.
Oh, spoiler alert.
But there are certain things that happen. But there's certain things. Dude, they've won it 4 times since then. But there's like, you look
spoiler alert.
But you look at that documentary and it's just like, oh, I love stuff like that. I love a great like sporting story, and you learn you learn so much about the human spirit from sport. But the idea of going to, I don't know, because I like history, I always visualize myself in places. It's like, if I was to sit in Fenway Park, I would really feel the fact that over 100 years of games have been played there. You know, it's like, you can almost like feel it in the air. There is something special about going to places like that. So I really hope I get to do that next year. I'd love to go to Boston sometime in the spring or the summer, and go and play baseball with my mate and play some golf in the US. That would be really cool. Hope that happens. Fingers crossed. Let's manifest everybody together.
Well, for me, especially like obviously the podcast, huge up in my life. Like it came at just the right time, because Facebook, this being a major down, Facebook's algorithm just destroyed so many really, really good autistic pages, autistic-led pages, and artists that I really liked, photographers that I really, really admired. And it hit me like a ball to the face. Literally, my following has not gone up at all year. I was going up 20, 30,000 a year. I haven't gone up at all.
It's not just you
this
either.
year. No, that's what I mean. It's everyone. It hit everyone. People out there just trying to help others, just or trying to squeeze out a living, selling art, or doing talks, or whatever people were doing. The Facebook algorithm just destroyed us, and so many people gave up. I didn't give up. I massively cut back, but I felt like I wasn't reaching enough people, and I felt really bad, and I felt really demotivated to post and put so much effort into posting, where I just wasn't enjoying it that much anymore. And we started the podcast, and I love doing this. And to be honest, I get more numbers from a Facebook post still, but this feels more real. This feels more personal. This feels like I can help people a lot better, because it's like doing a talk, but literally weekly. And, you know, I can write something on Facebook, and yeah, it might help a few people, but I can't write as much as I can say and have multiple people, hundreds of people, thousands. What are we on now? 36,000?
Just shy of,
listens. Yeah. So potentially we've helped 36,000 people listening, and it's just awesome. It really, really is. And so doing this podcast, doing the live as well, and meeting the fans and doing it with you.
Yeah, that was special. Yeah.
That was, except the Welsh weather.
Yeah, that was crap.
But
that was crap.
The whole experience was so good. But like, my up and down for this podcast, this is a pure up and down, and I'm sure you'll absolutely agree with me with this, is talking to Steve Silberman, interviewing Steve Silberman, meeting Steve Silberman, who was a personal hero of mine, and him having read my book and sung the praises of my book, considering I only ever really had the strength to be an advocate because of his book. And there's this man who I admired so much was singing my praises and blessing me with his knowledge and presence, and then he passed away. And that was one of my ultimate lows this year, was losing Steve Silberman. I mean, after the episode, you know, we did keep in touch, and, you know, I wouldn't say we weren't friends, but he was a mentor. And yeah, so that was my big up and my big down in like one go. So yeah, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Steve Silberman, and he will be massively, massively missed by all of us, really.
Yeah, no, he's what an absolute legend he was, and I really loved meeting him. Obviously, his book hadn't had as big an impact as it had on me, like it had you, because I was still reading it as we met Steve. It's difficult when you're interviewing people and then you have to read their book in a week. It's the pressure. But when I did read his book, God, it completely changed all the misconceptions that I knew about autism and the history of it, and how people have learned that it is, you know, meant to be here. It's not something that's just appeared out of the ground. And it's a special book. I'm struggling for words, really, because I can't really match what you've said. But yeah, what a legend. And I'm sure in our January episodes we'll be rerunning that one.
Oh, that's 100%. That is definitely.
If you haven't already listened to it, it will appear as a fan favorite during January. So keep your eye out for that, guys. Yeah, the podcast, man, has been a huge up for me. It's had its moments of being a down, because the more I've learned about my community, the more I've learned there's more work to be done, and the amount of people that just don't know and don't want to know is really frustrating. I mean, being an advocate for this from this podcast has been one of the best things that I've ever done, but it's also opened me up to meeting people and realizing how many stories are similar to mine, and understanding that it's been a lot. And I'm sure you're listening to this and we've all had quite similar life experiences, and it is really nice to know that we're not alone, that there is a lot of us out there, and we all should be communicating with each other. But with that comes the weight of understanding that there is so much work to be done. And, you know, talking to you and talking to Steve and Brett and all the many people we've spoken to this year has been wonderful. And it's made me feel human in a way, because for the longest time I felt like an alien. But at the same time, it's also made me go, I wish I was an alien and they'd come and get us, because I don't like the neurotypical world. I just don't. So that's sort of been my big up and down. Is the up has been the experience and everything that it's brought to my life, but the down has also made me realize how many people out there are having a tough time, and it's not fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Which brings me on to my last up, which is my personal mental health, which was very bad at times this year. It's been super roller coaster up and down, but it finally sort of went on and up, and it's just kind of stayed on and up. And obviously, we've discussed it before. Thanks so much to Ashley, our therapist now, and our unofficial third co-host, who will appear
she'll pop in
far more regularly next year for sure. She's been so helpful to both of us and to my family as well, and that was a huge up, is for me to learn to step back and be, as I've said it before, a witness to other people rather than making their problem my problem. So I'm always there to help, but I'm not going to push in. I'm not going to upset people. I'm not going to get involved. And that's massively helped my own mental health. Plus balancing my weight and my food issues to, like, literally I'm just very, very happy and balanced as a person. So that towards the end of the year now, that is probably one of my ultimate ups. And we're just so much happier, Sylvia and I, and just household in general is just so much better for it.
That's awesome, man. Out of all the things that you could hope for in a year, that's pretty killer. Being up there and having great mental health. I mean, that's something that I can definitely say isn't up this year. My mental health has taken a big tick, and that's come from a lot of self-confidence and also being around the right people. Being around other ND people has done my mental health the world of good, because I feel like I've got a lot in common with people. I don't feel as weird or as odd as I felt at the beginning of this year, and I don't know whether that was because I was just recently diagnosed and unmasked and going through that really difficult period that can happen with that. But blimey, man, I feel like I feel like a completely new man this year compared to where I was at the beginning of this year with my mental health. So that is a big, big up for me too. And also a huge up for me is as much time as I've spent with you and learning to share a podcasting space and all of these sorts of things has been awesome, man. And like hanging out with you once a week and hanging out with you guys as well, the listener, has been awesome. And I can't wait to do more of it next year.
Yeah, I've just loved it, man. You talk about having a special interest like that, like friendships for neurodivergent people revolve around special interests, which is why I think they're so difficult to keep up with ADHD autistics, simply because our interests change like the wind. But I think you and I, we have so many interests in common, but even when we don't, we have such love for each other that, like, if you want to talk about American football and golf, I want to listen because I just like hearing you be happy. I like hearing you talk and you being happy. So our friendship doesn't revolve around a special interest. It revolves around pure love for each other and just admiration and just happiness. And I think this is definitely one of the best friendships that I've had in my life. By far.
Thanks, too, man. No, and thanks, you, dude. Yeah, thanks for being such a good friend.
I love the fact that you're the sort of person that can say that. Because I have so many friends with alexithymia where they really struggle to say that. And I know they love me, but it's nice to hear it now and again.
Yeah,
I don't get told that a lot, even by my own kids. My daughter, yes. My son, no. But it's alexithymia. I don't take it personally. But I mean, come on, it is still nice to hear.
It's nice. Yeah.
When someone says, I love you, it feels good.
It does.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
All right, come on then. Go on, move on. What we're doing?
Fine. Right. Okay. So, next year. Next year. Yeah. I've got New Year's promises.
Okay.
Because resolutions don't seem to work in my brain, so I've changed the word, and now they're definitely going to work.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's do it.
I've rebranded it. So, what I hope to achieve next year. This is a list of things that, to be fair, I think this is just fantasy. But I'm doing my best.
Hey, we'll try our damn best. Let's do it.
Okay, so no new trainers.
Yeah, right.
I counted my trainers. Right. I have 31 pairs of trainers. I have 23 pairs of Jordans, and then 24 if you count my Jordan sliders, and 25 if you count my Jordan slippers.
Yeah, they count.
Okay, so 25 pairs of Jordans. Except if the new Tatum 3s come in a different colour.
You can't have asterisks on your new
year. I can. Because Sylvia said that if I don't buy them, she's going to buy them for me because she really likes the Tatum 3s in either blue or pink, but those colours aren't out yet. So if they do come out, no jerseys. No basketball jerseys.
Oh, come on, give yourself a chance, man.
I know, right? Except where if we do end up going to the Boston Garden, I have to buy a classic Mitchell & Ness Larry Bird. One from the Garden.
Come on, you're allowed exceptions. All right,
I've got to get an official jersey from the Garden. No hoodies.
Dude, come on! You've got to give yourself a chance.
No, I have.
What's next? No photos.
No, that would be crazy. That'd be crazy. No t-shirts.
What? You're just going topless? Is that it? Are you committing to the bit?
No, I'm not buying any.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I get it.
No new t-shirts. No new shorts. Do you know what's crazy about this? Last night I went on Vinted. I bought a new t-shirt and 2 new pairs of shorts.
So starting tomorrow.
No. This is starting in January, so I'm getting them all in. I'm getting them all in now. I'm getting it all in now.
So
no pop characters. Do you know, I wrote that, and then like Shaun from Shaun of the Dead pop character popped up, and I went, "Are you joking me?"
Oh, that's how it works.
Is a cool pop character, but I didn't buy it. No cuddly toys at all.
You basically just written down, I'm not allowed to have any fun next year. Is that just up your like?
No, I have so many.
You do have a lot. You have a lot of cuddlies.
And in just giant letters, it just says, "Just save to pay off the mortgage." So that is my motivation. Is I'm not going to buy all these things, and all the times that I would spend the money on these things, I'm just going to put it in savings and pay my mortgage off so I can retire quicker and move to Cornwall. And that is
a damn good plan.
That is what I am going to try and do next year. What about you?
Do you know what my New Year's, like, what was it say? Promises, New Year's promises.
New Year's promises.
Genuinely, one of my New Year's promises is if you want the thing, get the thing.
Oh, that's opposite.
Right, yeah.
But you don't have as much stuff as I do.
I don't have as much stuff as you, so I was like, if I want the thing, get the thing, because I do beat myself up about getting the thing. So
you've got 13 years of getting the thing before you reach my stage of having everything.
I've got to start at some point. So one of my promises this year is if you want the thing, Si, get the thing. Also, like one of my big promises is turn my new house into a home. That's one of my big promises this year is getting that all turned around and living in it and loving it. And
I'm going to come and visit you. I'm going to go to the Lake District. You'll be staying in the
princess room, which is what the new spare bedroom's now already been christened. Room. Yes, there's going to be a lot of pink in our house. I've just had to accept it.
Oh, that's fine. I've got a couple of jerseys that'll match that. Lovely. And I've got some Jordans that'll match that.
Do you know what? If you don't want them, just give them to me. Although I'm like, I've got hobbit feet. I'm like a size 11. So
yeah, I'm size 8.5.
Yeah, every time anybody has shoes to give me, they're like, "Oh, they won't fit," and I'm like, "We can try, but no."
It's so weird. You're 5'7" and your feet are in norm. You are a hobbit.
Do you know what is funny, dude? And this is a comedic thing. Is my feet are actually bigger than my shins.
That's mental.
It's really sad because it's like my feet grew, my torso grew, my head definitely grew, my legs just stopped.
Just in between. Yeah.
I know.
Like a duck.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that. I've my middle section is
over
way
in the wind.
taller, and my legs are actually a lot shorter. That's why I can't dunk. That's the only reason.
Okay. You know what I was thinking. Yeah. So my promises next year, that they're kind of it, is if you want the thing, have the thing. Continue to do this and love it. And turn my house into a home. They are my promises for next year. And I'm sure when we do this episode at the end of next year, they will, hopefully they will all be ups.
Yeah, and I will have paid off my house because I will have saved that much money.
Or if you've like, I've sold 10 Jordans and I have cleared the mortgage and I'm moving away.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know what the resale value on them is now, but
it's not a lot. I mean, don't make me look, because I'll buy more from vintage. I'll be like, is that all it is? I'll buy them.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm really glad I was looking at trainers last night and I did see a couple of shoes that were in a sale and I nearly sent them you, and I'm really glad I didn't. Sorry. You're welcome.
I'm never talking to you again.
That's fine. Just live with that. That's fine. I know that you don't want more shoes. You literally said to me, "Don't send me anything," because I
always want more shoes.
I know
with you.
You've literally just said you don't want more shoes.
I do though. Sophie's moving out soon. Simon's eventually going to be murdered by me when I kick him out.
That little room would make a nice shoe room, you know.
Dude, it will be. It's called a box room. We just call it a shoebox.
Shoebox room. Oh,
with giant Jordan sticker. And then just shelves and shelves and shelves of all my Jordans. And then there'll be an empty shelf for all the Jordans I have to get in the future. Because I'll be like, well, there's a shelf, so I have to.
Let's just hope that no really nice ones come out next year. Let's just hope they're all terrible. Because
I've already got the proviso, so as long as it's fine, it's fine.
Yes. Well, there are New Year's promises. Let us know yours. Put them in the comments below. Send them to our socials at the Neurodivergent Experience or at the Neurodivergent Experience at gmail.com. They might.
No. They might. Oh yeah, we've been asking you buggers to make comments and give us. None of you. I think everyone listening might be neurodivergent and just demand avoidance. Yeah, sod them.
So don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. We had this before. That didn't work either.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Do it. Don't do it. I don't bloody care what you think. Screw you.
All right, then. Well, that's what a great way to end the year. Thank you for listening to our podcasts. Go screw yourself. Great. Good.
Don't ever listen again. No, in all honesty, we have been so grateful that there are so many of you willing to listen to our absolute nonsense.
Yeah, dude, I was looking on Spotify Wrapped the other day. Tis the season for Spotify Wrapped, and 463 people on Spotify alone. We are their number one podcast,
and rightfully so.
And it's like over 1,000 were in people's top fives. And I don't know if you've noticed, mate, but there's quite a few podcasts out there.
It's like 12.
There's not just us. There's
like
not
12.
Just us. So
maybe 15.
If you've spent any time with us this year, whether it's 5 minutes or absolutely every episode, like some people genuinely do listen to every single episode, which is
we
crazy.
We love you.
Thank you for
bloody comment.
Yeah, but thank you for giving.
It's actually driving me mad.
I know. But thank you for spending time with us this year. It's been a pleasure. We've loved it, and we hope you did too. And we'll see you in the new year.
Yes. We will see you for season 2 in it.
Is that it? That's just the trailer. Yeah. Season 2 in it, in a little hand stim. Yeah.
What?
I literally heard. I heard
a dunk for 2.
I heard a song the other day, dude, where the lyrics were, "My bro isn't neurotypical. He's got autism." Well, he said "got," which already tickled my brain in a bad way. But then it said, "My girl thought you threw up gang signs. That's just my dog stimming." I was like, this is the sort of music that we need next year. More neuro-affirming music, please. So, yeah, stand on that. Why not?
Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you in the new year. Have fun. Bye.